Hey guys, so in today's video I picked up this 9.9 Mercury two-stroke motor. I believe this is an early 90s motor. For the most part, late 80s to early 2000s, these engines are the exact same for the most part. There's some minor changes, but for the most part, they are all the same engine. So this is a short shaft model. As you can see, it's very dirty. The guy didn't use it much. Definitely have to go through the carbs. It was kind of just sitting in the shed in the corner, building up dust. So, you know, obviously we're going to have to go through the carbs, change out some spark plugs, gear lube, and do a water pump on it, and then go through the whole fuel system. First thing that we're going to check is compression and spark. Make sure it has good compression and spark first. After that, we can go through the fuel system. If you guys are enjoying the videos, please smash the like button down below, and as always, subscribe. And I look forward to making more videos for you guys. So let's jump right into this rebuild of this 9.9 Mercury two-stroke. Okay guys, so the very first thing that we're going to want to do with this engine is do a compression reading and a spark test. What that's going to tell us is how healthy the power head is and if it's even worth to flip this 9.9 Mercury. Because if the fuel system's bad, you can always clean it out and stuff, but if the power head has a low compression, then the motor's not fixable. So what we're going to do is see what the compression is and then go from there. First thing I noticed with this engine is on the spark plugs, they are very oily and very wet. So we're going to have to change these out. And they weren't even burning that correctly anyways. No water on them, so we're good there. So we're going to have to throw new spark plugs in here. Okay guys, so after I did the compression reading, I had 105 in each cylinder, which is more than enough for these power heads. Anything below 90 psi is a bad power head for the most part. You usually want to be around 100 at least, but I have seen them run at 90, but anything below 90 they won't run. So now that we have even compression on each cylinder, we're going to hook up the spark tester and see if we have spark. Okay guys, so now we got the spark tester all hooked up. All we want to see is a solid spark between these two gaps. If we have a solid spark, the only we have to worry about is the fuel system. And as you guys can see, the engine does have spark. So now we have good compression and good spark. All we have to worry about is the fuel system and then the water pump. So let's pop off the carb and let's see what's looking like in the carb. So the next step that we are going to take is remove the carb and rebuild the carb. Now it's very difficult for me to film it step by step for you guys and see how I do them because these carbs are a little bit challenging. Because I do them a little bit differently than how the service manual wants you to do it. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of how to remove it, and then I'm just going to take it off at my own pace, and hopefully this is enough for you guys to be able to figure out how to pull these carbs off. If you guys do want to see a separate video, I can try my best to film it step by step, but like I said, it is very difficult for me to do it. Here's just a quick rundown of how to pull them off, and hopefully this will be enough for you guys. What you want to do is cut the zip tie for this fuel line that's coming from the fuel filter. So you'll remove that fuel line and push it out of the way. Next step you would want to take is removing this rod right here, which runs all the way back and under the flywheel. Basically what this one does is advances the timing under the flywheel. So when you spin this in, it obviously pulls the rod and advances the timing of spark. So you want to pop that off and eliminate it out of the factor. Then you want to remove these two bolts down here that holds this whole throttle mechanism. Everything here is all connected with those two bolts. Underneath the carb there is a hole where this is actually connected to, and it cups right under the carb. So what we want to do is pop that off and then push down and get that hook off of the carb. After you get that all off, there are two nuts that you guys want to remove, one right here, and then the other one is down there. The carb will come. The only thing is, in the service manual, the way they want you doing it is they want you to remove this whole assembly, which you can, and it makes it easier. But I found a way to make it a little bit easier for myself and not having to remove as much things. What I do is when I pull the carb, is you take the carb out, rotate it to the right, where you just get this side out first, and then you'll turn it, and then you bring it out on an angle, and you should be able to get it out on this side. And you should be able to just barely get it out. And then there's one little hose connected underneath the carb, which you can't see right now. It's actually, so the hose is actually right there. You can see it runs up and then connects into the carburetor. You just want to pull that hose off as well, and then the carb will come out. So let's pull this carb off. Let's get it tear down on the bench, and let's see what's look like inside. Now once you do all that, the carb will come out, and now it's ready for a tear down on the bench. Now just so you guys can see what I was talking about, if you look right down there, you can see that circle in the plastic piece. That is what cuffs under the carburetor on the engine. That's how it stays put, so that circle's right there. And then that little peanut hose right next to it is underneath the carb as well. So you just want to make sure you do not break that piece, or else the plastic piece will just not sit on the carburetor correctly. Also, at this point, what you want to do, stick a flashlight in there and check out your reeds. Make sure your reeds aren't sticking open at all, and that's all good. Then all you have to worry about is the carburetor and the rest of the fuel system. So let's tear the carb down on the bench, and let's see what it's looking like. Okay guys, so now that we got the carburetor on the bench, we're going to do a complete carb rebuild and a complete carb cleaning. I'm going to stick it in an ultrasonic cleaner, make it look brand new, and then rebuild it with a whole new carb kit. This is the carb kit. It's a Sierra 18-7212. I'll also link it down in the description, all of the kits that I used in this build, including water pump kit, spark plugs, that carb kit, anything that I used I will put in the description down below for you guys to find. So let's tear this carburetor down, let's get it looking brand new, and let's see how it turns out. Is throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, get it all cleaned up. Even though the carb doesn't look dirty at all, looks like it's just been cleaned, I'm still going to do it because you never know. Stick this in the ultrasonic cleaner and let's see what it looks like. Okay guys, so now that the carb is looking brand spanking new, I did blow out all the jets and everything with air. So now all we're going to redo is reassemble the carb back together and then go from there. So the carb turned out looking really good. So now that we've got a full rebuild done, what we're going to do now is reinstall the carb onto the engine, and then we're going to do the water pump on it. So let's get this back on the engine and let's see what the water pump looks like. So now that the carb is all hooked up and installed and functions as properly it's supposed to, we are going to drop the lower unit and change out the water impeller and see what that's looking like. So let's get right into dropping the lower unit. So now that we got the lower unit off, we're gonna pop off the housing and check out what the water impeller looks like. So let's get it up on the stand and let's get the housing off. And that's what the old impeller looks like. It actually wasn't too bad, but definitely starting to lose strength of its fins, so it's definitely ready to be replaced. So let's get a new one in there. I got a whole kit for it. This is the kit. It's got some base gaskets and stuff like that. I'll drop a link in the description what the kit is so you guys can figure it out yourselves. But let's get this all replaced and let's see how this motor pumps. So now that the lower unit's all installed, we just want to make sure that we are shifting in all the correct gears. So I'm going to spin the prop shaft while I'm shifting and see if it shifts into all the gears that's supposed to. So right now we're in neutral. So we spin the prop, it should spin freely both ways. Into forward, should ratchet one way, and then locks. Back to neutral. Should be able to spin the prop. As I'm spinning it, I'm going to shift in reverse and show lock. So now that the motor does shift in all of the gears, I'm just going to do some general maintenance like gear lube, spark plugs, change out a couple of hoses. So a couple of these hoses are torn. So for instance, this hose right here, which is for the telltale, is split right here. So water is going to leak out before it even gets out the telltale. So we're replacing this hose, replacing spark plugs, doing the gear lube. And then after that, that should be everything, and we should be ready to test run the motor. So let's get that quick general maintenance done, and then let's throw this in the tank and see how it does. Hey guys, so now all the general maintenance is done. We're just gonna stick it in the tank and run it, and let's just see what it does, and just if we have to do some adjustments, we're gonna do some adjustments. So let's just see if it fires up, and let's go from there.
just gonna let it idle here for a little bit in gear. It doesn't sound too bad where it's at right now, and it's pumping pretty perfect. So we're just gonna let it idle, see if it stalls out at all, and then go from there. But right now, the motor does sound pretty good. I'm not hearing any air pops, and it sounds pretty good. But it does seem a little fast, so I might have to adjust it, just slow it down a little bit. Okay guys, so the motor was running over 10 minutes and didn't stall out or anything. I'm just gonna restart it, see if it runs good, and then after that we're just gonna take this right over to the lake and do a lake test on this. So let's see if it starts right back up, and then see if it just idles and doesn't stall out for another couple minutes, and then we'll go from there. And the motor restarts really easily, so I am pretty confident to take this to the lake and do a lake test on it. And let's just see how this motor performs with the load on it. So let's cut right over to the lake and let's see how this performs. Hey guys, so we're out here on the lake now. The motor started up perfect. So now we're coming out the no wake zone. We're gonna see what we can do at the top end speed. So let's see what we can do. And the motor doesn't stall at all. Of course, if you increase the speed, faster the motor goes. So we're just going to test run this motor for a little bit, and we'll come back to you guys if the motor dies out or anything like that. Okay guys, so the motor ran great. So now all we're going to do is detail this motor. So we're going to head back to the dock and put it on the trailer. And then we're going to take it home and detail the motor. And this motor will be completely finished. So let's get it back on the trailer and let's go from there. So we made it back to the garage now, guys. What we're going to do now is detail the whole motor. Now that it runs perfect, we're going to detail it, make it look really shiny, and then that'll be the end of the video. So let's get right into cleaning this engine, and let's see how nice it turns out.
So now the motor is fully detailed. That's going to wrap it up for this video. The motor looks good and it runs excellent. So now I can list it up for sale. If you guys want to keep seeing more content like this, please smash the like button down below and subscribe for further videos to come out in the future. I'm very excited for some of the footage that I got for you guys, and I look forward to more rebuilds. So as always, thank you guys for watching the video.